We have an amazing episode for you today, but first I want to tell you about Anchor, the easiest way to make a podcast. Whether it's recording new podcast episodes, uploading existing episodes, editing, or more, Anchor gives you everything you need in one place to create your podcast from your computer or your phone and make it sound amazing. And the best part, it's free. Yes, Anchor is completely free. Anchor makes it easy to make money with a podcast without a minimum listenership, and will even distribute your podcast so it can be heard anywhere from Spotify, Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, and more. The podcast process has been so easy because of Anchor, and I couldn't have asked for a better experience right off the bat. I'm recommending Anchor to all of my listeners who are wanting to start a podcast. Be sure to download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started building your own podcast today. My name is Kristen Kubik, and you're listening to As Told Unfiltered, the podcast that dives deep into what it's really like running a business. The raw, the real, and the completely unfiltered. Oh man, it feels so good to be back. That break was way too long and so unintentional. Okay, let me catch you up on what happened really fast. I got married in September 2019 to my best friend at the National Aquarium in Baltimore, which was amazing, by the way. We went on the most amazing honeymoon in Aruba, and then we got home and shit hit the fan. Between both parents getting sick, coronavirus, and then my mom recently dying. But there's no better time than now to bring back season 2, because I've wanted to for a while. And you know what? We're doing it big. I'm talking the most unfiltered, the most stories, the most raw and real. You asked, and I'm delivering. I'm kicking off season 2 with an amazing topic that's on everyone's mind. So why aren't we talking more about it? This episode is a pre-recorded Facebook Live that I couldn't help but make the very first episode of season 2 because it's that good. It's that fiery, and it's that worth it. Today, we're talking about the visibility in your business. More specifically, the fear of getting visible in your business. Getting visible is such a mind game. It's hard, and hardly anyone talks about it. All we see on social media is the pretty pictures, the perfect makeup, the gorgeous clothes, the amazing filters. You know, all about that Lightroom. But what we don't see is the hard shit. The negative self-talk, the comparison, the struggles, the sleepless nights. And that's where I come in. Are you ready? Let's dive in. It's all about getting visible in your business. Visibility is going to grow. It's going to make you grow. It's going to make your business grow. And it really, really sets you up for a lot of those, like a lot of vulnerable feelings that a lot of us are really scared to feel. And I actually went through this. I've been going through this for probably the last year or so, and I think it's why, one, I was really scared to do lives for the longest time. I know a lot of people are really scared to get on camera. They're really scared to, talk to people. They're really scared to feel like they're talking to themselves, and that can feel really fucking scary. And it makes you feel like, well, maybe I'm not good enough, maybe no one wants my stuff, maybe I'm not pretty enough, maybe I'm not skinny enough. There are so many different feelings of why we're afraid to get visible in our business. And I think I've been through almost every single one of them. My most recent one has been because of my weight. And for those of you who don't know, I've actually lost about 40 pounds since October. So, I've been working really hard. I was really unhappy with my body. If you're friends with me on Facebook, you've seen a lot of my progress photos. If you've seen me on Instagram, you've also seen a lot of those photos. But I've been working really hard, and obviously I feel better and I feel more confident, but I still have issues every single day. I said it earlier on this live. I said that I was watching myself on my computer and I was making gross faces. So I felt gross almost immediately. Why would I do that to myself? I'm supposed to be my biggest hype girl. I'm supposed to be the one who's reminding me that I can fucking do this. Why would I talk down to myself? And that's what you have to think about. If you want your business to grow and you want to eventually start working through those feelings of, I'm not pretty enough, I'm, not as pretty as she is. I had someone in this group one time message me asking why they weren't as pretty as I am, and I'm like, please stop. Like, guys, I look like a bridge troll most days. I legitimately hardly ever wear makeup anymore. I used to wear it all the time. Like, today I have a little bit on, but nothing to write home about. And most days I have my hair in a bun. I'm wearing a shirt that's too big for me because none of my clothes fit anymore. And what you see on social media isn't real life. And that's something that we have to remember. Because a lot of us, we get into what's called comparisonitis, where we start comparing, ourselves and what we actually live to what other people portray on social media. And that's not fair to us. That's not going to help us, and it's not going to help our business. And when we do that, it eventually creeps into our actual personal life. Because we eventually start, looking in the mirror daily and saying, well, I don't look as good as so-and-so who goes live every day. Or I don't look as good as, so-and-so who's always on Instagram. And that's not what you want. You are supposed to be your biggest hype girl or guy or whatever. You are always your biggest fan. And that's something you have to remember. No one is ever going to support you or your business as much as you are. And that's the top thing you have to believe, is that when you start looking and scrolling and seeing all these different people, that's when you start doubting yourself. And that's not fair to you. What you want is for you to constantly be surrounded by people who are, hyping themselves up, because that's going to make you hype yourself up. Or you want those people that also want to hype you up. I did a thing earlier, and it actually was way outside of my comfort zone. And I posted a photo in an outfit that I'm wearing right now, and it's a totally different outfit than I've ever worn before. And a year ago, 40 pounds ago, I never would have even remotely tried to wear something. And it's literally just shorts and a cute top. That is all it is. And I even said that I've constantly worn leggings and t-shirts for like the past 2 years because I've been scared of people looking at me. I didn't want people, noticing I was there, commenting on my outfit. Like, please fucking don't. Like, please stop. And today I woke up and I don't want to wear a fucking t-shirt and leggings. I want to wear something that makes me feel good. So I found the only pair of shorts I have left that fits, and I found a top that's still too big, but I could make it work, and that's what I'm wearing today, around my house. But I wanted to feel good, because when I feel good, I can hype myself up and I can get more done for my business. And you become not afraid to be as visible. You become okay with people seeing you. Like, there are about 10 to 12 people hopping on and off this live right now, and I'm not fucking scared that anyone is listening to this right now. Because this is real life. This is what we're all going through. We're all scared of, having our faces on camera, or, getting over 1,000 followers, or, maybe even busting over a certain amount of sales each month. Like, maybe your fear is making more money because you're scared of how people are going to treat you, and how, people are going to look at you. And are people going to start, asking you to pay for their stuff? Or, I started having people asking, I need help with my mortgage. Well, I can't help you with that. It's really hard to be able to hype yourself up and to feel really good about yourself when you have people constantly trying to bring you down. And that's a thing that you really have to work through. It's, how do I become my biggest hype person? And how do I narrate my own story? How do I become what I want to become? And that's another thing that I love about being visible, is that you get to narrate your own story. You get to be the person that decides what other people say about you. I get to decide that people call me an unfiltered branding coach. You get to decide that, you're whatever you want to call yourself. Like, are you an expert in eco-friendly products? Are you an expert in, brows and lashes? Are you an expert in healthy living? Like, you get to decide that. And you get to be that person that if you walk into a room and someone says, no, you're not, you can give them 75 reasons why, yes, the fuck you are. And then my only other thing, and this kind of wraps around to the first one because I love going full circle. Like, that meme where it's like, I never knew I lived with a, and let's go full circle type person, because I'm that person. My husband always makes fun of me for this. But you get to find the truths in the midst of your imposter syndrome. And that's something not enough people talk about. They talk about, do you have imposter syndrome? Do you feel like you have imposter syndrome? Everyone probably has felt like they have imposter syndrome at least once. Like, I have. I probably did last week. I was like, why the hell are these people listening to me? And then I'm like, because I have 3 degrees and I've been studying this for 11 years. That's fucking why. You get to find the truth in why you feel like you do. You get to find your own truth. And that is so freeing. And that's awesome. I don't like going live because I just don't like talking. That is totally fine. That is so fine. And when I do, no one ever joins or they don't participate. You know what's funny? I used to do lives and no one would talk. And it's like the biggest slap in the face. It's like, at least say hi. Like, hey, I see you. I see you hopping on. I see you hopping off. Like, at least say hi. That's why I'm always like, all right, well, say hi when you jump on. But I always make sure to post my face on products. That's getting yourself visible. You don't have to go live to get visible. You really don't. And that's a big misconception. I think video is a really, really important part, but I don't think it necessarily has to be live. You're allowed to be nervous. I had that weird butterfly feeling before I hit live just now. And it happens every time. It never goes away. And then I start seeing people be like, hey, I didn't know you were going live. What's up? Blah, blah, blah. And it goes away. And then you start being that expert. And people eventually start with the conversing. And, the first few times, I think I talked to a brick wall. I think I just stared at myself at my phone and just talked, and that was okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. The more you do it, the more people will start to see you. But that's the scary part. And that's the part, we have a really hard time with. Especially, I feel bad for, people who have, products. Because doing live sales and showing off stock and new stuff and then not getting any fucking feedback, that sucks. But you know what sucks even more? Being scared to do it again. It is such a bad feeling. It is so hard. And it's something that we really have to work through. Because it's a way of, do you want to adapt and find a new way to do it? putting your face out there in a different way. Maybe you don't have to go live. Maybe you can, show up on some stories or, post some selfies with some new stuff. And, I always tend to have a damn Gatorade bottle or a water bottle near me. I mean, just like, hey, here's the new stuff I have. Like, something like that. That's still you getting out there. That's still you getting visible. You're just adapting more to what your people are wanting and what they're saying they're wanting. Because if you don't have a ton of people like constantly on your lives, then that's okay. It's not a bad thing. Maybe that's just not their thing. Like, for sales, I'm not a huge live person. But for information, I'm a huge live person. Like, I'm so weird about lives. Now I only go on my story and talk about things that are coming up. See, that's like perfect. And that's still you getting out there and putting yourself out there, and you're still like bringing that personalization in, and they're still getting to know you and seeing your personality. Because I guarantee, like, any of us, we could all have the same script and we could all like get in a story and read the same script. None of us are going to read it the same. Like, we're all going to put our personality into it. We're all going to really get into it in our own ways. And that's what people want. That's why people shop with you. That's why they come to you for, your advice, your coaching, your services. That's why they're coming to you. It's because they appreciate you. Obviously, they appreciate what you're selling, but they appreciate you. I don't think people understand in general why or how that hurts people as much as it does. And that's a big thing that, I try personally to communicate with, you guys, but I was on a live with another business coach, and she legitimately was like, I did a bunch of stuff for a bunch of people and no one said thank you. And I was like, that's the rudest thing you could have ever done. It's true. They only understand it when it happens to them. And I think that's why being our biggest hype person is the most important thing. Because when we're our biggest hype person, then it makes it easy for other people to be our biggest hype people. It makes it easier for you to surround yourself with people that are hype, that are going to hype you up, that are going to hype themselves up. And I think that is such a big deal. It makes all the difference in the world to growing your business and not being as afraid. And that's the biggest thing that we have to work on. And I say we because I still have to work on it every single day. I mean, I will always say we because I'm not perfect. I never will be. I will never claim to be. I'm always working on this type of stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm terrified of lives. I understand. Yeah, so many people are terrified of lives. And whether it's because they're scared of talking to, a quiet room, or they're afraid of nobody listening or nobody watching. We have so many reasons. A lot of people are really scared of looking at themselves on video. Like, that actually used to be a really big thing to me. And I actually got this advice from somebody else to sit down in front of my mirror and just talk it out. Anything and everything, just talk. And it helps a lot when you start seeing, and this sounds so weird, but it starts making more sense to you when you start seeing how your mouth moves, how your eyes move, how your eyebrows move, because I do a lot of eyebrow movements in case no one's noticed. Because if you haven't noticed, you haven't been watching. And how your jaw moves. And people get so angry over it. At themselves. And that brings back those, I need to lose more weight, I'm not as pretty as so-and-so, and blah, 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 blah. And that's the opposite of what you want. Because it's going to keep you in that zone of fear. And fear, I'm actually reading a really awesome book right now. It's called Fear is My Homeboy. And it's all about taking fear and making it an ally rather than your enemy. And it's been a really big help in kind of like sorting out why I'm scared to do certain things. And it's partially what inspired this live, because it's partially what inspired me to make the post I made today on my personal page about why it's time to stop being scared of how I look. Have to stop caring if they participate or not. Because you have really good information that you want out there. You have really good information that your people need to hear. And that is the one thing that you absolutely always want to remember. Because the second you stop believing that is the second you're going to sink back into that, why do I really need? Why do I really, why do they need? And then it turns into, well, I guess they don't really need what I'm saying. And then I guess they don't really need what I'm selling. And then you start wondering, well, why am I not making money? Because you're not selling, because you're not telling them your wisdom, your, stuff. And it's a big, big issue. Even if you keep with the pre-recorded videos, that was actually really good. The only thing I would even remotely suggest is a really engaging title. People love hearing X amount of reasons why so and so and so. We love, for some reason, lists. We hate making them, we hate doing them, but we love listening to them. Or today's title for this video, the fear of being visible and growing your business. And so many people jumped on this live because they either have that fear, they wanted to hear what I had to say on it, or they had something they wanted to get out of this. And that's a good title, a good engaging title is going to give you all of the momentum to get those listeners in, to get those, followers to realize that you're an expert in what you're talking about, that you know what you're talking about. So that's basically all I wanted to say about that. I wanted to do just a quick live because I was inspired and, I felt the need to word vomit. So there, we did it. We word vomited. But let me know your thoughts. Let me know what you're scared of. Let me know what your fears of getting visible are. Are they of going live? Are they of people seeing you? Are you afraid because you're fat? Talk to me. Let me know. Was that not amazing? Okay, so here's what we learned in that episode. 1, I say way too much when I'm just going on a tangent. 2, we all pay attention so much to social media that it affects our mental health. And at what point are we actually just going to love ourselves and be our own biggest hype person? Because that's what we're supposed to do. So if you're scared of getting visible, why? I want to know your reasons. Tell me on Instagram at Kristen Unfiltered. Or tell me on the blog. See today's show notes. And let me know in the comments. KristenCubic.com/blog. Thanks for listening today, guys. I'm so excited to be back. This season is going to be freaking amazing, and I'm so excited to share this with you. I cannot wait, and I hope you'll stick with me. If you haven't hit follow, do so. Recommend it to your friends. We want everyone to hear these episodes because everyone deserves to feel good about themselves, and everyone deserves to hear what the real side of running a business is, the shit that no one talks about. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.